Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Truth. I'm Kevin, and today, Congressman Jeff Van Drew drops an epic video that leaves Jasmine Crockett eating her own words. And trust me, it's a bitter pill. Let's get into it.
This administration is criminalizing legislative oversight, and the Republicans on this committee are helping them to do so. Rep. McIver didn't engage in interference. It was ICE that engaged in interference while members of Congress attempted to conduct legitimate oversight of ICE facilities. Everyone, whether you are American or not, should be deeply disturbed and worried about Trump's abuse of power. They're attacking universities for teaching things they don't like. They're attacking law firms for representing clients that they don't like. This hearing and these charges are an attempt at political intimidation. The three members in Newark were exercising their constitutional duties to check an out-of-control executive branch. This entire situation happened because of the unjust arrest of Mayor Baraka.
The American people made their choices overwhelmingly clear by rejecting these chaotic and terrible policies. They removed President Biden and Border Czar Harris and gave Republicans control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And now, President Trump is back in office and finally doing what should have been done years ago, restoring order, rebuilding capacity, and demanding accountability. But he inherited a system that has been pushed past its breaking point. ICE has more than 7.6 million aliens on the non-detained docket, up 135% since the day that Biden took office. Agents are scrambling to track dangerous individuals who should have been deported long ago. Right now, ICE needs more detention space than it ever did. But the same voices that created this chaos are now trying to shut down the very detention facilities that are needed to fix it. That's why this hearing matters. From New York to California, local politicians are actively working to undermine federal immigration enforcement. Perhaps the most egregious effort is in my home state, the great state of New Jersey. And we're going to play a quick video now showing this.
An ambulance there apparently turned away at the ICE detention center in Newark.
We've seen at least two ambulances try to pull into this ICE detention facility here in Newark, New Jersey, and they turned that ambulance away.
The detention facility holds members of MS-13, murderers, arsonists, drug traffickers, American killers.
We want freedom. Free our people. This is sacred ground. Free our people. This is not a legal facility.
From the moment Delaney Hall was reauthorized to operate as a detention facility, it has been under constant, relentless political assault. Local officials have used inspections, lawsuits, and bureaucratic hurdles as weapons. Not to make the facility was operational, but to completely shut it down. Outside of the facility, there have been coordinated protests led by political figures, including Newark, New Jersey's own mayor, who publicly vowed to, quote, padlock the building if necessary, and declared that immigration enforcement of criminals is not welcome in his city. This isn't oversight. That's not oversight. That's obstruction. There's a big difference. It's lawfare designed to undermine federal authorities and score political points at the expense of our public safety. On May 9th, the tension culminated in a shameful display by the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, and members of Congress who stormed into the facility without clearance, without following protocol, and physically disrupted law enforcement operations. They cursed at staff. They shoved past security. They assaulted federal law enforcement officers. And for what? To free whom?
Well, folks, I guess you can say that was fiery, but mostly peaceful. Am I right? But seriously, that's what would happen if CNN was reporting this. But fortunately, we actually have Representative McIver on camera forcing her way around a federal officer. Now, I don't like throwing around terms about that can be used for other legal means, but that looks an awful lot like basic assault and battery. I think that's a pretty open and shut case there. But that last question that Jeff Vandrew was asking, well, that's an important one. Who are the Democrats actually defending? Well, let's start off with the more esoteric ones, because they're not just defending illegal aliens and criminals. Oh no, they're defending a mindset. They're defending a certain group of people, and it's not the illegal immigrants. It's not the people who have committed crimes here in America, who have crossed the border without authorization. No. There's a group that's actually benefiting from this, and it's the sensibilities of the rich white liberal class that dominates the Democrat Party. The whole reason the Democrats have lost their minds is because they keep catering to the crazy. This is the problem as you tilt further and further leftwards. You start being filled with more and more religious zeal, as it were. You become crazier and crazier and crazier. You have to adhere to the dogma. You have to adhere to whatever's in the news, and you have to say all the right things in order to stay in the group, or else they'll kick you. They won't kick you through the uprights. They'll kick you out. And to make matters worse and further prove this point with real-time evidence and examples, just turn on your television. Well, maybe not. You'll have to scroll social media to find these clips because it doesn't fit well within the media's narrative and agenda. But needless to say, here we go again, folks. CNN's spinning the Los Angeles riots as mostly peaceful protests, while undocumented invaders loot, torch businesses, deface property, and wave Mexican flags in the streets of a country they claim to want to join. Sound familiar? Just like Benny Johnson said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. These aren't innocent dreamers. They're destabilizing our cities, or at least attempting to. And Vice President J.D. Vance is at a loss for words. Well, not really, but I think y'all get the idea, right? One of the main technical issues in the immigration judicial battles is whether Biden's border crisis counted as an invasion. So now we have foreign nationals with no legal right to be in the country waving foreign flags and assaulting law enforcement. If only we had a good word for that. Yeah. What's happening in Los Angeles right now is just unbelievably shocking, and I'm at a loss for words. Almost. The streets are erupting in chaos, fires burning, property destroyed, and rioters waving Mexican flags while defacing sacred memorials like the Kobe Bryant mural, honoring him and his daughter Gigi. This isn't just a protest. It's an outright assault on the city and our values. Why isn't Mayor Karen Bass or Governor Gavin Newsom trying to stop this and protect Angelenos? You've got people so emboldened that they're screaming threats at FBI agents, promising violence while Antifa militants advance on police, setting fires and tearing down everything in their path. And to top it all off, explosions are rocking Compton and California as this madness spirals out of control. And this is what weak leadership looks like. LA City Councilwoman Eunices Hernandez is out here fanning the flames, reportedly encouraging these riots to escalate. Can you believe that? Meanwhile, Mayor Karen Bass is slamming ICE, accusing them of sowing outrage, chaos, and fear and terror while flat out rejecting the National Guard's help to restore order.
If there is protests that break out, and if there is violence associated with that protest, that the Los Angeles Police Department is well equipped to handle that. And 2,000 officers, 2,000 soldiers in our city will not be a positive thing, and it will not be helpful.
Folks, this is what happens when Democrat policies let lawlessness run wild. And hit that like button if you agree that we must put a stop to this. As Benny Johnson said, California, this is the result of weak Democrat leadership and failed policies. You chose this. Remember it next time you head to the polls. And let's be real. If there were Trump supporters out there, you know the media would be screaming insurrection and labeling us domestic terrorists, right? But when rioters are waving foreign flags and burning our cities, the scripted talking heads call it mostly peaceful. It's a double standard, plain and simple. And destroying an American city while waving a foreign flag? Call me crazy, but that feels like an act of war. But what do I know? This is why we need you, red-blooded American patriots, to stand up and speak out. The mainstream media won't tell the truth. They're too busy spinning narratives to protect the chaos, but we can outnumber them. We can drown out their lies with our voices. Join our Stay Free community right now. Click the link in the description and pinned comment to become part of a movement that's fighting to save, protect, and restore this country. We're not here to watch America be invaded, taken over, or burned to the ground. We're here to take it back. On YouTube, on social media, and beyond, we need thousands of like-minded patriots standing shoulder to shoulder, speaking the truth loud and clear. I'll be there to guide you every step of the way, and together we'll build a community that can't be silenced. So, patriots, let's stand up, speak out, and take back our country. Join Stay Free today, stay strong, and let's make our voices heard. And I'll see you in the community. Plus, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Chapter, for their unwavering support. If you're a senior or know someone who is, listen up, because Medicare enrollment periods are right around the corner, and Chapter is your trusted partner to navigate it all at absolutely no cost to you. That's right, folks. Their expert guidance is 100% free. With Chapter, you could possibly save thousands by finding the right Medicare plan tailored to your needs if you haven't done so already. Whether it's the annual enrollment period coming up this fall or a special enrollment opportunity, Chapter's team of licensed advisors will ensure you're prepared, informed, and confident in your coverage. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Chapter today at 270-467-2426 to get personalized help and secure your healthcare future. Having a partner like Chapter by your side means peace of mind, and that's something every senior deserves. Call Chapter at 270-467-2426 and tell them Kevin sent you. So yeah, that's the thing. The Democrats are actually trying to protect her, but then they are actually deep down protecting illegal immigrants. And this is the weirdest part of their sensibilities. It's one of the only ways they can show their patriotism. They can't openly say, hey, we think America's actually great, when you're instead out here peddling the 1619 nonsense, when you're out here saying America was never great, when you're refusing to say, yeah, you know what? On the 4th of July, I'm going to celebrate our independence because I love my country. Democrats just don't do that anymore. And the only way that they can show that, yes, they actually do believe in their country is by saying that, yes, we can allow hundreds of thousands, tens of millions of illegal migrants to flood our border. We need their votes. We can absorb that. And the main reason they do it is because they live in places like Martha's Vineyard. And once illegal immigrants showed up there, they were immediately kicked out of the island. That's one of the biggest ironies in American politics, and it's never lost on me. So Jeff Van Drew makes a very obvious point. But Jasmine Crockett is the problem. With her, I think she believes this. I think people legitimately believe this, and it's no longer just a mental issue. It's no longer the psychosis. Now the psychosis has set in, and they fully believe that the illusion is real. The moment you try to pull them out of there and take them out of Plato's cave, they want to go back in. I think Stockholm Syndrome is kind of the thing here, but this is a certain psychosis that now they believe is true. It used to be, as Ronald Reagan, and I feel like I've been quoting this one fairly often recently, said that liberals just know so much that isn't so. At this point, Reality could be staring them in the face and they'd reject it. And it goes without saying that they had the same derangement syndrome towards, of course, Donald Trump, the number one target that they really want to take down. I mean, they tried twice, but ultimately the Democrats have no choice. They have to keep on going down that rabbit hole, digging themselves deeper and deeper. Well, eventually you find yourself stuck in Wonderland and it never ends well. I'd say bless their hearts, but this is the bed that they made. Now they can lie in it. Jasmine Crockett's catering to people that do not want to see a proper, thriving country. They would much rather be king of the ashes if everything were burned to the ground. It's sad because I actually know some pretty good Democrats, some decent people. I'm still friends with a couple of them, and they're good people, and they just don't fully believe this. But I've been trying to, time and time again to remind them, hey, this is what's actually going on. Can you please pay some more attention to it? And it's worked with a few people, but the vast majority of them love the illusion. They know they don't want to talk politics with me, and that's okay. It's okay that we have a good First Amendment like that, right? But when you have videos like this of Democrats caught trying to trespass on federal property, we kind of have some precedent for this, and charges need to be filed. So Jasmine Crockett's not defending just one of her own in terms of political party. She's out there defending the illusion, for lack of a better phrase, and she's doing a pretty good job of it. Her rhetoric hits all the right points that she needs to, and if I were a political consultant, that's exactly how I'd write a speech for her. The problem is, however, it's not true. And you constantly have to ask yourself, at what point do you need to start dealing out the truth? At what point do we need to start looking at ourselves and say, hey, the truth is more powerful than your illusion. We need to start tearing it down. And what I mean by that is, what lengths do we go to? Because debates don't work like they used to. And you could show your neighbors, you could show them videos like this, and maybe it'll help them come around. But we're going to need something stronger to break this illusion, because the rich, white, liberal mindset has festered for so long in these people that they believe it to be true. We are, however, starting to see the true breakdown of the old Democrat coalition. Blue-collar workers are leaving the Democrat Party, and I don't blame them. Josh Hawley's out there actually talking about the good parts of union labor, and I never thought I'd live to see the day when a Republican was pro-labor. So we currently are witnessing what happens when a political coalition caters to only one side, and often it's more crazy members. And they want to say things like Trump and MAGA. Oh yeah, that's a fascist cult. Oh boy. If you believe that, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona I want to sell you, and I'll throw in the Golden Gate for free. So that's the reality, folks. That's the illusion, and they keep defending it. Well, let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name's Kevin. I hope you enjoyed this segment here, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.